This is the Horizon Editors Roundtable for the week of January 22nd, 2008, the first one of the new year. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to see you, as I'm sure all of you are glad to see us. On tonight's panel, we have Caroline Bryan, Ian Hoops, we have Nikki Fouch, Mary Q. Burton, and I'm Jared Clapp, if you didn't remember. Anyway, tonight we're talking about the program that the Office of Student Affairs is starting up. It's a campus watch program where students and faculty and everyone really are supposed to look out for people who might kill themselves or might kill everybody else. So anyway, we've seen the flyers, we've seen the pamphlets, we've seen the posters. What are some of the, does anyone have any issue with the program or what they're
watch out for
out?
me.
Yeah, me too.
Because I love me some video games.
Yeah, exactly.
And according to the pamphlet, people who play video games are going to kill you.
Well, it does make the distinction.
It makes the distinction,
yeah, but it still is an unfair kind of distinction. Yeah.
What distinction?
That
the distinction
video
it makes
games
is
are
that
equivalent to drugs and
video
prostitution.
Well, no, the people who have like an obsession with violent video games to the point where they act out violent fantasies with them and stuff like that, they do mention that, but nonetheless, they do have an image of a guy playing PlayStation who looks like this.
So if you're into playing Mario Brothers, then you're less likely.
Probably
exactly. Well, let's not also, let's consider, most people between the ages of 18 and 25. I think, you and I can attest to this anyway, and a lot of our friends who play video games, we play at least one of those violent first-person shooters where we're going around killing everything that we see. And you see us in daily life, and we're perfectly functional people. I don't think that violence necessarily carries over.
I don't know if that's true.
Last game I completed was called Assassin's Creed, and it is an infidel killing simulator, essentially. It takes place during the Crusades. You're an assassin. You run behind people, and you stab them. But the gameplay is awesome. You can scale you can scale all kinds of buildings and jump around and run on top of buildings and free run and run up walls and do all this crazy crap. It's an awesome game.
And Ian hasn't stabbed
anyone.
You
kill a lot of
people
people
this week.
I have not stabbed anyone. I have not gone out and gotten a crazy white robe and walk around with my hood over.
But you threaten to kill people all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But, aside from that indicator in there, they list several others, and they also don't make any kind of distinction about whether or not you should look out for one of these or a combination of things, or if you need to look at, if somebody has 90% of these symptoms, you might want to call somebody in the university police. They don't make that distinction in there. They just say these are some signs that you should look out for.
I would like to read one of the signs now. Most drug dealers, habitual criminals, prostitutes, and pimps. The irony is, since they operate outside of the law, they feel they need guns to protect themselves.
I also liked that one. That was my favorite one out of the whole one.
I mean, how many prostitutes and pimps do we have on campus?
Well, according to the people who, we're going back 6 or 7 years now, according to the people who wanted to stop the casino from rolling up, the casino would and has created a market for that in this area.
Because it didn't exist before.
Right, because,
Because all those Asian spas that were popping up everywhere really were just giving massages.
Well, I mean, to be completely honest, and this is weird, I've actually talked with some of these women, and they're very nice. My friend used to live out in the West End of Louisville, in kind of a bad part of town, and when I would go over to his house late at night, or he would come home late at night, there were people waiting outside on the corners, at the curbs. Of course, they're not going to come out and say, yes, I'm a prostitute, but, they're prostitutes. But they're nice.
Well,
they don't seem very homicidal at all.
New Albany has a porno store on Main Street now after the boat opened.
Yay!
Across from a church. Only New Albany would build a porno store and a poop plant on Main Street.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way for the city council to approve that juxtaposition.
Yeah. I want to know who wrote the pamphlets. And where they got their information.
They seem locally written, and I've heard some different things, but I don't know who wrote those.
It was written by a former campus counselor, Skeets.
Oh, okay, so Skeets wrote those.
Is that who it is?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, wow. Well,
so are they trying to turn us into a Gestapo?
More or less. There were a few people on campus who I'm friends with who have referred to these as the snitch papers. But there are also some indicators in there that don't quite make any sense, that don't necessarily mean anything. For example, someone who has lost a sense of wonder. What the hell does that mean? And then yeah.
What?
And then, yeah. And on top of that, it also says people who don't believe in a higher power. But most of the atheists I've met are very much pacifists. So
well, okay. So where have all the, a lot of the wars come from?
People who have some sort of religion
They're
associated with
religious
it.
based.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Religion based.
Right.
Not all wars, just a lot.
A lot of them. Yes.
So this pamphlet is attacking atheists?
Well, it's attacking. Well, I'm not sure it's attacking anybody really. I mean,
It's uninformed.
It seems to
It's
be
simplified.
somewhat uninformed, and
I think it'll be better once people start moving into the dorms and stuff, because a lot of campuses do have campus watch.
And I would
But
like to
right now
clarify
it's
something too.
Pointless.
I would like to clarify that while I take issue with a lot of things in the pamphlet, I think that the program is an excellent idea.
Right, and I agree wholeheartedly with that. I think it's perfectly appropriate for the university to push a program like this where students are looking out for one another.
Is necessary. In
Yeah,
situations like this.
and as I mentioned in my column this week, it's the responsibility of universities to inform students about stuff
Absolutely.
like this. And I'm glad they're doing something like this. It's just that I take issue with a few of the indicators they throw in there, and also kind of the implementation that they're kind of going through with this. So it's kind of a passive thing right now with pamphlets that students aren't likely to pick up.
Well, they're not likely to pick up, and when I come to campus, I come to go to class or to work on the newspaper. Like, I'm not paying any kind of particular attention to who may be acting shifty around me.
Right.
It's not my job.
No, we just make fun of those people.
Until they kill us.
You know?
Exactly.
So I don't really know what they're expecting. I mean, I don't care that much.
Well, it's like we said, it seems like this is a program that they're implementing more for when we have residential students and people who are living here. So I think that's when we'll really start seeing a wider implementation of this program, and that's when it will make a lot more sense to everybody. It's just that right now they're trying to open up all of these programs and get their foot in the door with them, so that way we have something in place when we finally do have residential students here.
I think they're trying to scare people into behaving.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm being cynical again, but what does every major administrative body usually do?
Scare people into behaving?
What does the government do?
Scare
Scare
people
people
into
into
behaving?
If you don't behave, you go to jail.
Yes.
I understand it's a law, but
If you deviate from the norm,
the
bad.
the frightening concept of going to jail prevents most people from committing what they want to do. I'm not saying that everyone wants to go kill someone or steal things, but
I
I'm
mean,
sure
how
that would
many
happen a
people
lot
have
more
been
often if
killed
there were
on
not.
campus, though?
Well, people
Like
have
murder.
died here, but as far as I know, there hasn't been an official murder
It's-
on this campus.
Well, and if you take a look at like high schools and the whole zero tolerance policy and school lockdowns and all the precautions they take against school shootings, there haven't been tons of students killed in high schools either, but you have an incident, you have several major incidents, and it becomes necessary to implement some kind of program to help prevent that sort of thing from happening. And the whole Virginia Tech thing is, I think that's reason enough,
Right.
especially with the whole situation where the guy was showing, psychologists said that he was exemplary for what he committed, the behavior that he was exhibiting. So
Well, we're going to have to end that on this note tonight because we're out of time, actually. Sorry, Mary, didn't mean to cut you off there.
oh, I was trying to cut Ian off.
Oh, but anyway, that's all we've got here tonight. Thanks for tuning in, if you tune in at all, and we'll be back next week. We don't know what we'll be talking about, but we'll let you know. Good night.